Hi, so today I had a pre-departure briefing with some of our students, and someone asked me a very interesting question, and I thought to share it on here because somebody else might have a similar question. So the student asked, okay, can we travel while we're waiting for the outcome of our visa or study permit? Is it possible to travel? And when we're at the destination where we're going on vacation, for example, can we submit our passport there if the passport request comes out while we're there? Now, my answer to this question, because I've had this experience a couple of times, like in terms of like my clients, I've had various clients that have been in similar situations. So I told the clients, yes, it is possible, but they need to know that there's a high chance of a little complication. And what do I mean by that? For example, I had a client who he got an approval for he and his wife got an approval for an owner operator work permit, and he wanted to submit his passport, but he was in South Africa at the time on official business while the wife was back home. Now they asked me the question, and I told them it's possible, but it's better to just submit it together with your wife. But they felt that maybe the time to get it back might be so long and he'll be stranded in South Africa and won't be able to be home with the family for the holiday. So he went ahead and submitted in South Africa. Now, unfortunately, he had updated his passport and IRCC didn't have the updated version. So when he submitted the new passport in South Africa gave the visa, stamped his visa for a work permit tied to the validity of his old passport. So basically it means that he had just about three months left. Now, it's interesting to note because when the wife submitted hers, she was able to, the IRCC asked her to upload the new passport. And when it was uploaded, they asked for, and they made another passport request, which allowed her to, more or less allowed us to be sure that, okay, they've received it and they're going to process the new one and make the work permit tied to the new tied to basically 2 years. Her new passport was very, very new. She just got it this month. And well, that's just an example of a client, and that was their experience. Now, the other client I've had, what happened with her situation was she had a US visa, but she did not have a Canadian visa. And so when we applied for her daughter got her study permit, but she didn't get her visiting visa yet. And so because she had a US visa, she decided to travel to New York because her daughter was going to resume in a school in Toronto. So she decided to travel to New York as close as she could be to like a border where she could just, go on and say bye to her daughter from across the border and know that at least she's come more than half the way with her daughter. So in her situation, while she was still in the US with her daughter, I think a day before she was about to leave her there, she got her passport request and asked me the same question. Obviously, she doesn't want to have to pay ticket to come back home and go back again. So she was willing to take the risk, and she submitted it at the IRS, I think at the is it the IRCC in Washington or the embassy in Washington? But basically, she submitted her passport for the Canadian embassy to stamp her in, to like affix the counterfoil for the visa. And they got back to her. They said, "Why are you submitting here in the US?" And she explained that, she came to see her daughter off and she was heading back and she just got it. Thankfully, they stamped her visa, and, she was able to go with her daughter and all that. Now, I've had other situations whereby, people submitted their passports in the country where they were because they were there for quite a while, and, there wasn't much pressure on how long it would take for it to be returned. So they didn't mind waiting, and it didn't take that long. So anyways, basically the answer to this question is it is possible to submit your passport in whatever country you are to the nearest IRCC office or VFS, but just be aware that if that is not the original processing office, they might need to do some confirmations. There might be some back and forth, and there's no guarantee on how long it will take. But it's possible. I hope this answers that question. It was such a great question to have received from a student, and I thought to share it on here just in case there are other people who have had similar situations or they have similar questions and they would have loved to hear an answer, or at least have an idea of people's experiences and let it guide them. So I will not say you must do this. I will tell you this is the experience we've had in the past, and it's up to you to decide what you want to do. I'm sorry, I'm doing that just because if it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, don't blame me, but we're here to assist and guide you. Make sure you subscribe as usual to our YouTube channel, Enter Canada, and we're still in the spirits of this Vlogmas. It's new to me. I've never had to post consistently for 25 days, and I hope I'm able to keep up. I hope I don't skip a day, and I hope you're staying here watching and subscribing and turning on the bell notification so you don't miss the next post. Take care, and I'm happy to be on here.